Hello everybody, welcome to 1v1, the creator interview series here at Boss Rush Games. I am your host this week, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me for this episode is the streamer, the man, the sweater. Look, this might be the fanciest guy on the internet, okay?
Hell yeah. I'll take it.
If you've watched a couple of the past episode of Tower Casuals, you'll know him, but I'm joined by Willow.
Hey guys, what is up? Definitely can attest to the fanciest guy around. I got this probably 12 years ago at a thrift store, and I wear it regularly. Like I don't just bust this out randomly. I do wear this around.
I have a hoodie. I have a set of hoodies like that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes. I used to have a sweet corduroy jacket, but my wife threw that away.
Oh.
Without even telling me.
Don't you hate that when they do that?
Yes, that was my favorite jacket.
It happens. I'm very sad. I'm very sad for you.
Thank you.
Because I've had stuff like that just disappear. And I'm like, where is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Disappear in air quotations.
Yeah. So, but how are you, Willow? I'm glad you decided to do this tonight.
I'm very good. I'm glad that I was graced with an offer to do this. Like I was talking about earlier, I will now go ahead and just tell you about my day because I have a story that I think you guys will enjoy.
Yes, before we started recording, I told him to save the story for the episode. So
with COVID going on, it's been really hard to find stuff that's like really common, like pools, trampolines, and bikes. Okay, my wife has been trying very, very, very hard to get bikes for us, and then we have two small children. So we got two like seats that you can attach to the back of a bike for them to ride in, because they're still small enough to where they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And last night she found a bike that she could order for like pickup at Target, and she went there to pick it up today. And then when they brought it out, she was just like, "Hey, listen, is there any chance there's any more bikes?" And the dude was like, "Oh, hey, we got a truck in today. Let me go check." Sure enough, they did. So we're like, awesome. So we come home, we build the two bikes, pain in the ass, but we build them, you know. We get their back things put on, the seats on. We go outside, we load the kids up, we go. My bike rides fine. My wife, she goes and she just starts to go and she just goes off the curb, no big deal. And the handlebars do a perfect like 90-degree turn, and the wheel keeps going straight.
Wow.
So
awesome.
She almost eats it hard with our daughter on the back. So we're like, okay, let's readjust. Let's fix the handlebars. Okay. So we try to fix the handlebars. I, being a genius, decide, there's another problem with the front brakes where like when they're just sitting there idly, they're rubbing against the tire. So it's like it'll always be like slightly braking. So I'm like, I'll fix it. I ruined the whole front brake. They're gone. The front brakes are gone at this point. But we make it work because you don't need your front brakes, whatever, you know. So, okay, we get on the road. We're like, we should go fill up our tires at our local little gas station around the road. It's free air. So we go. Fill up the tires. We're going. Our kids are kind of feeling it, not really. But we get to a point where we're like, we live in like a really big community. And so we rode our bikes all the way around, and we got all the way, I kid you not, to the complete opposite side. My front tire pops.
Oh,
like it just pops. So we're like, well, this is great. So we take the kids off. We have to start walking the bike back, and then eventually the tire came off of my front wheel. Oh. So I had to carry it. So that sucked. It's like 90 degrees outside with really strong humidity. So that sucks. So we find a guy outside, and we're like, hey, listen, we're not doing too good. Can we just park this bike here? We'll go get the car, come back, and grab the bike. So he's like, yeah, sure. So we walk like 3/4 of a mile with our kids. It's so hot. They're miserable. They're like really having a hard time walking back. We get there, and long story short, we get the bike back, and now it's on our front patio, just sitting there with no front tire.
Awesome.
That was today.
That sounds like, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a terrible day.
It was not. It started out fantastic, and it quickly spiraled out of control.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, today was kind of a weird day too. You know, it was really hot today, and our power went out at work, so it got even hotter because that's what happens. It was like 93,
Sure.
93 degrees today, and so that wasn't very fun. And then here we are. That was my day. It wasn't very exciting. Not gonna lie.
Wait a second. You're East Coast, right?
Yeah, I live in Ohio.
Okay, never mind. It was really hot. Well, I'm in Virginia, and it was really hot today too. I was just curious how close you were.
Yeah, just a what,
Hop, skip, and a jump away.
6-7 hour road trip down south.
Yeah.
Why not?
Easy peasy.
Yep. But we're kind of not here to talk about bikes, but that was a good story.
Thank you.
I enjoyed that story. Not gonna lie.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was almost as interesting as when Celeste was on talking about teaching English in Japan for 20 minutes. But you're here because we kind of met through Destiny and kind of Twitter and playing Destiny and all kinds of weird content, kind of crossover stuff. And you're going to appear on Tower Casuals, our Destiny podcast. And I kind of want people to get to know you and what you are about and what you do and what you would like to do in terms of creating stuff on the internet. But before we kind of get into all that, who are you? What do you do on the internet? And just kind of expound on why you're on the internet doing stuff.
Oh gosh.
I know, simple, easy question.
The internet it's simple. It's simple, okay? The internet is magical, and it's where people go to have dreams come true.
It's true.
So that's why I'm on the internet, But in simpler terms, I've always been like a gamer, I guess you would say. So connecting with people via the internet has always been kind of a thing with me. From playing Xbox 360, whatever, online, and then quickly blossoming into, hey, let's take this to another step and let's stream. And I wanted to start streaming like 5 years ago, and I just got lazy and decided not to, and just played more games instead of like streaming with it.
We've all been there, right? I think.
Right. That's another story I could get into. I could really dive into. I don't know how much time we have. I could really go in depth if you want me to.
I mean, we have. There's no time limit on this show. I do have to be at work at 5:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
So
I have like a 10-hour limit.
Yep. Kinda. Okay. I mean, we could do a part 2 tomorrow if you really need it.
Oh yeah, that's true. It could be like the Willow story.
Mm-hmm.
It
could be a saga. The Willow saga.
I like the sound of that. But no, in all honesty, so basically the best way to explain this, it would be I lived and grew up in the same area of Washington State. I was born and raised in a really small town right near the border of Idaho, where I was forever. So fast forward to me getting married to my wife now, high school sweethearts. Woo! She decides 1 month after we got married to join the military. So that was crazy. So she joined, and she brought us over to the East Coast. I didn't work for a year, and I was like, I got to do something. So I was like, hey, let's get me a really nice, like not a really nice, but like a decent enough PC to where I can play a few basic games, and I'll start streaming. Just for something for me to do, because I didn't have much. I'm not going to go out and venture into a new place. And at the time, we only had one vehicle. So she would have that to go to work, and I would just be stuck at home. Spoiler alert, I don't start streaming. I just play games. And eventually, after a little bit, I said I didn't work for a year. It was nice, and it was also like, I was like, dude, you gotta do something, So I was like, you know what? I've been around the military for like a year now. I could do that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll join. So boom. So then I join, and then I get back, and I'm like, man, I really should have started that streaming thing. So I just go for it. So I started with Twitch, did a few months on Twitch, and then ended up eventually switching over to Mixer. It was about the same time the big Ninja move happened. And to say that didn't have any influence on me would be a lie. And then I did 9 months on Mixer before everybody I'm sure knows who listens. Mixer is going to partner with Facebook Gaming. and that eventually led to my now return to Twitch. So that's kind of that, I guess. I don't know. Did I really answer what I do on the internet?
No,
I do a lot of stuff on the internet.
Kind of. You did sort of, kind of.
It started like that, and then it kind of went on a tangent. But
I also saw on Twitter that you started a podcast, maybe.
So yeah, so I've always wanted to like with me, I feel really creative, but I'm kind of not. Like I always want to be doing something, right? Like I always want to. I wouldn't say push the boundaries, but like a lesser degree of that, maybe. I guess I like to talk and I like to have opinions and I want people to listen to me talk and give my opinion, but I don't want it to be like, bleh, bleh, bleh. I consider myself like a kind of a fun guy. So I'd like to share, my fun stuff, my fun opinions. So I tried to do a video game news podcast with one of my best friends from high school. We did that for a couple months, and then at the time it was when my stream on Mixer started like really kicking off. So I was like, listen, I gotta put more time into my stream. Like I'm like establishing like a legit community. So I kind of had to like slowly take a step back before I was like, listen, I just can't do it. But I can't do both anymore. And I had new children at the time, which was so like life just didn't allow me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my kids got a little older, and I started to try another podcast with a friend I met from work through the military. That one it started great, and quickly we both he went on like a big long vacation for a couple weeks. He got back. I went on a vacation for a couple weeks, and then after that, kind of just fizzled out. So now, my old friend who we started the first one with reached back out to me, honestly, like a couple weeks ago, and was like, "Hey, what do you think about trying to bring it back?" And I was like, I had a lot of fun. We did video game news and stuff like that, and I know there's a lot of that already, but it's fun, chit-chatting with one of my really good friends. It's one of the like few ways we really get to like spend quality time just chatting about stuff we love. So we did that. We recorded our first one a few days ago, and it was fantastic. So hopefully do that a little bit more. But yeah, I guess now just with everything more established and scheduling and everything in my life kind of figured out, I'm really open to the idea of doing everything I can to, I don't know, spread my influence, I guess. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but
I mean, we all kind of want to do that, right? I mean, that's kind of why we started this, like this is, I mean, just to give you a little backstory on me real quick, like this is the third major group I've been a part of for podcasting and stuff. And, Ed and I have been podcasting together for 5 years. We're actually recording our 5-year anniversary episode of our Nintendo show on Friday.
Congratulations! That's a big milestone.
Thank you. We're on episode 203.
Ooh, heck yes, that's awesome.
So
something around there.
So yeah, I don't really know until, dude. And like there's like the milestone episode. And then you keep up with it for like 3 or 4 episodes, and then I literally have to go to like iTunes to figure out what episode we're on because I forget, man.
Heck yeah.
But I started with a group called DNA, Digital Nerd Advocates. We did a bunch of stuff. It was kind of like a really, really poor man's kind of funny type thing where like it was me and a bunch of my friends that I worked with and my one friend from high school, and we talked about video games and movies, and my one friend, we called him Toast, and he really liked beer, so we did a show called A Toast to Beer, which was
nice.
It was really fun to do, and that group kind of fizzled out because people just lose interest, and then I was part of a group called Nerds Gone Rogue, which we kind of did a bunch of podcasts and stuff that and that's kind of how Boss Rush was born. Was kind of like half of us wanted to move one direction and the other half kind of wanted to move a different direction, and it kind of was kind of like split down the middle, and I kind of wish we ended on better terms, but this is where Boss Rush is, and me, Ed, and Jesse started Boss Rush Games, and we brought our Nintendo show and our Xbox show over started the Boss Rush podcast, which is kind of what we throw up as our flagship show or whatever. And then, it's kind of a place where we want to have people. When we started it, we were like, there's three things we gotta be. We gotta be positive. We gotta try to be positive and constructive when we're talking about stuff. Even if we don't like it, we gotta be constructive about it. We gotta be inclusive of everybody. We have to, find people who kind of have the same ideals that we have. Like we want to include everybody that we possibly can who is doing something interesting and may not have the platform that we've kind of been, lack of better terms, blessed with, right? Like I think we're very fortunate that people have followed us from group to group, and then we all have to be on the same page and on everything that we do. If somebody wants to try something, we're more than willing to let that happen, right? And experiment with stuff. We've had things work out. We've had things not work out. We've kind of tried seasonal models for stuff. It's a place where I feel like we allow people to, we want to help people because we've had a lot of people help us along the way. Whether it's getting podcast downloads or, Twitch or Mixer followers or whatever. We've had so many people help us that we just want to kind of return the favor to everybody, and that's kind of the platform that we have built on. And, that's kind of where we're at now, and that's what these 1v1s are for. That's what the panels that we've been doing. We did Ed put on a Pride panel a couple weeks ago. I produced our women's panel last week. Like we want to give a voice to everybody who we think deserves one, whether they're big, small, just starting, been at it for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think that's where we're at now. And now, Josh and I have known each other for quite a few years, and we wanted to do something with Destiny because we both love Destiny. Josh is kind of obsessed with Destiny.
Sure.
But to be fair, I was that way at one point, right? My very first podcast that I did was a Destiny podcast. It ran for 65 episodes. From House of Wolves all the way through Rise of Iron. And then just kind of, my friend just told me, he's like, hey man, I just don't want to do it anymore. That was a real bummer.
Yeah, I bet.
But I always wanted to get back into doing something with Destiny, and that's kind of how, to wrap this all the way back around to you, that's kind of how we met. And Josh and I have talked, and we had you on as a guest, but we really want to have you on as, kind of a full-time third chair type thing, and
heck yeah.
And that's kind of why we're here now, to let people get to know you and know your personality, know the ins and outs of you, and kind of just bring you to the forefront because you're going to be a pretty big part of that show. And that's what's exciting. So,
yeah.
That was enough about me.
That was beautiful. I just want you to know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I kind of get wrapped around sometimes.
It's so easy to just start somewhere, and you think you know where it's going to go, and it goes way off the other direction.
I know. I just kind of wanted to, this is how Boss Rush kind of views ourselves, as kind of like a safe place and a fun place for people to talk about the things that they love, whether it's games, movies, Destiny, toys. Like we had a show that we kind of want to bring back called Standard Definition, where we just talked about old movies and games and comics and stuff that we were just kind of
That's fun. Yeah.
Like we did one on Sega Dreamcast, we did one on the original Ninja Turtles movie, and we did one on Men in Black. And there
you go.
So yeah, there's things we would like to bring back at some point, but as you know, as a dad, time is limited.
Yep.
And so,
yep, absolutely.
We've kind of put focus on other things at the moment, but anyways, back to you. Let's talk about your gaming history. What What was your first game console? What was your first game you remember playing? What was the moment for you that you were like, yes, games?
I don't. So it's kind of a little tricky. It's kind of a rocky path. Not like meaning like really bad or anything, but it's just kind of up and down. Um, I think the first actual console I had in my house, I think was just the original PlayStation. I think, and I remember playing a lot of really old Madden with my dad on that. Um, and after that, the first like time I really was like, I became all in was just a few years later. I really wanted the Game Boy SP, the foldable one.
Mm-hmm.
It had like and it had like the light kind of in it, so you could like adjust the light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the coolest damn thing ever.
It was cool.
And
I have one.
I was really oh I think I found mine in while we moved once. I don't know if it's still in here or not. But I think I have it. It had like a sweet like tribal like design on the front.
Oh, really?
That was so cool. Yeah. And I remember like begging my parents to get me fire red or leaf green Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And they were always like, hell no, because they were like, my dad was cool with like Madden, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was about it. I kind of got into like I kind of like slowly turned off and did like the Pokemon, the stuff like that, and they weren't really about that. So I was like, damn. But spoiler alert, we did get one. We got Pokemon Fire Red for Christmas one year. That was like the one of the best Christmases ever. And I was like, since I was a little kid, I would keep just the Game Boy was so small. I just put that thing underneath my pillow while my parents tucked me in. Man, oh, I played that thing like until I couldn't even open my eyes anymore.
I remember those days.
And then oh, did I cut you off?
No.
Okay.
I just said I remember those days when I tried to hide. I was trying to hide Game Boy.
It was the
under
best.
my pillow.
It was the best. And that thing was so easy because you could just fold it and like shove it anywhere. It was so easy. So kudos to those guys for making that portable console. And then as I grew a little bit older, I feel like the friends I kind of gravitated towards up into like early junior high and then through most of junior high weren't really into that kind of stuff. So naturally, I wasn't really as big into it. I still remember playing RuneScape a lot in junior high, but I never talked about it. That was just like my own thing I did on my own time. The kind of group of friends I kind of fell into was like they weren't like, it was like the skateboarders, the snowboarders, the four-season athletes that did all those sports and stuff like that. So I got really big into all that stuff naturally. And then it wasn't up until I would say early high school where I kind of shifted friends. So I'm very charismatic and I'm very like, I love everybody, and I get along with everybody.
Yeah.
And so not to like brag about myself, but I was pretty popular. I was a cool kid. Okay. I was a cool kid at school. So naturally, I knew everybody, and then in one of my honors English classes, I started sitting next to basically call them the nerds, right? And I sat with them, and they were looking at Magic: The Gathering. I don't know if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, damn, dude, that thing looks so cool. And they started teaching me about it and like showing me all this stuff. And then there was a pre-release coming up, and I remember it was Gate Crash. And they took me to it, and that was like my first like ever sanctioned event ever I did. Now that was like some of the coolest stuff I ever did. And then that turned into like almost an addiction. I was playing Magic all the time. Still play rarely now, not as much. If I do, it's like Magic Arena online. But then that quickly blossomed into that, and then playing games with those guys, getting into like stuff like the Skyrims, the Witchers, Assassin's Creeds, and away from kind of like with my older friends that were like the sports games that they were playing, Call of Duties and stuff like that. It just really opened my eyes to all the really cool stories that were being told through video games that I was missing out on for so long. So I guess that was kind of it. It's so kind of like it started high with like me as a kid, kind of like went down a little bit as like junior high, and then high school it like sprung back up, and now it's like it's through the roof. Like I got Pokemon posters behind me, got Destiny, I got all sorts of crap. Like
Yeah.
it's just fun. This stuff's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I have all this crap behind me too. It's all
Yep.
it's like up above me too and around, but
Heck yeah.
people can't see it because well, people on my camera, the camera you're looking at, you can't see, but if people are watching the video, there's a whole bunch of like Destiny stuff up there and Transformers and Ninja
There it
Turtles
is.
and
There it
stuff.
is.
So but yeah, it's I mean, I've always been like I don't know, when I was in high school, it was always like really dorky to play games and collect toys and stuff.
Right.
But it was like,
yeah.
it was like what I loved to do. But I was always like, I was in this really weird spot where like I played sports and I was also like really into art and video games and stuff. And so like the art kids thought I was weird because I played sports. And then like
Right. Yeah,
all of my teammates thought I was weird because I played video games and collected toys and all this other stuff. So,
right.
yeah, that was a weird time.
I could definitely relate exactly to how you were feeling.
Yeah.
It's like almost the same exact thing.
Yeah. So, and then like I think the big breakout, like the game that kind of broke down the walls for me was Halo, the first Halo game in high school, where everybody bought an Xbox and everybody bought Halo. And then we were at my one friend's house for his birthday, and we had two full 8-on-8 matches going on. We had what, like 16 Xboxes downstairs, and like everybody brought a TV. And yeah, it was
But did you have Mountain Dew?
We did. Lots of it. Lots of it. And it was at the time where like Code Red was like kind of a new thing.
Code Red was so good.
So yeah, it was like everybody brought at least a 2-liter Mountain Dew and Halo, and it was so funny because everybody was like, I don't want to use the Duke controller. I'm not using a Duke controller. And everybody like was furiously like taping their names on the back of the controller. Like, this is my controller. Nobody use it. And I had the blue S controller. So I was like, I know this one's mine. And then like half of my friends were stuck with Duke controllers because they bought Xbox when it came out. And I was like, glad I'm not playing with that thing.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Good times though. Those are good stories to have,
Yeah. And then in college it was all about Melee and Halo 2. So
there you go.
That was I don't think my Xbox ever turned off when I was in college. Like I seriously, like I was playing when I wasn't in class. My friends were playing when they weren't in class, and then some people would come over and stay all night and play Halo. And I was like, okay, well, I should probably get another Xbox because this is not gonna last much longer with it being on all the time. So, but yeah, it's video games, man. People out there still think that it's weird, but I'm glad that the internet has brought groups of people together.
It's almost like, I feel like kind of like the nerd culture has almost shifted, and it's like cool now to be a nerd,
Yeah.
It's kind of how it feels right now.
Yeah. In certain spaces, let's just say I'm frequently reminded that there are still people out there that think it's weird. But
oh yeah, absolutely. There'll always be those people out there though.
Yeah.
With anything.
But I'm just kind of like, I just go about my day, and then when I get home, like my real friends are on online, and so
right, for real, I like it.
So let's get back to you. You started streaming, and you made the move to Mixer. You said Ninja kind of had it influenced, but was there any other reason why Mixer was like the platform you chose? Because like I did the same thing. I picked Mixer over Twitch because, like, for me, it was the accessibility, the user interface, everything was just so much easier and cleaner to use. But I mean, you probably have a different story than I do. So
I was one of those people who like honestly didn't know what Mixer was until Ninja's huge announcement. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, Microsoft has like their own streaming service. They pulled one of the biggest Twitch streamers ever over there. Let's go check it out and let's just see what it's all about. So I go and I watch a few streamers, probably for just like a couple weeks. And there's one in particular I remember. What's funny is he made me appreciate what Mixer was doing at the
Mm-hmm.
time that I was like, I'm doing it. And what's funny is that he ended up shortly after moving back to Twitch. But I just the way you could interact with the chat with gifs and with the sparks.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. Like you said, the user interface is so clean. It's so much more like user friendly. It's just like easier to operate and like navigate yourself through as a viewer and as a streamer. I really so after a while, after talking with streamers and in chats and stuff like that, and like hearing what they thought about Mixer, and everybody, whenever you asked in a chat, everybody was like, it's community based. It's all about community. Everybody wants everybody to succeed. And so I was like, you know what, let's just do it. So I got my stream key and I streamed, and people weren't kidding. The people I were meeting were so nice. Even like bigger streamers were like, they'd help you out. It was only like a couple weeks in, I got rated or hosted by a huge partner, and that was like insane to me. Like it was mind boggling, and I was like, man, this platform is fantastic. And I really committed to it. I really started to figure out what I wanted to do as a content creator. Obviously, it's changed now because it's been about a year almost.
Yeah.
And life happens and stuff just changes. But eventually, that led to me establishing like just a really cool community. Granted, they like my OGs like bully me like no one believes, but who doesn't at this whose Look, OGs don't do that,
we know which one's the bully in our chat. Just look.
Oh yeah,
know. She's there. OG,
right?
Talk about OG.
All the communities got it. All they all got it. But that's what makes them special. It's you create these relationships with people literally who you've never even met, and they're all over the world. But you grow so close to them, and like you learn about them, and you converse with them like every day for sometimes hours at a time. And these people really become like like an adopted family. And as crazy as they are, it's just like fun. Like you just look forward to booting up the PC or console and hitting go live and getting to chat with them. It's a lot of fun. But basically that was why I chose Mixer. Same reasons you listed. The interface was so clean, so easy to use. The site was easy to operate. Interactive chat was cool, but now it seems like every streaming service is kind of doing a little bit of that now anyways. And just the community felt so nice. I didn't really have to there was a few times I had to ban a few people, but it never was like ever outrageous, which was nice. It was just cool, everybody, a lot of people there were on Xbox, so like everybody you're already similar with a vast majority of the people on there anyways. It's like, it's just cool. I really liked what Mixer brought to the table. It's really unfortunate what's happening, but like I get it. I understand why they're doing their move.
Yeah.
But like so many people say, people don't watch your stream for the platform it's on. They watch for you. And once you establish your communities, it's like they'll watch you wherever you go. It's just that your platform is just what you use to actually stream on, and that's it. So
yeah. I kind of found it, when I was on Mixer, like it took me a while to get to the community that I had there, but like it was still, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of your community. Everybody was so fun and awesome, and like like you said, the first time you get rated by a partner or something, it's just like the most amazing moment at the time, between it was funny because there were actually two partners in the same raid when I got rated that pushed me over 100 followers after like maybe a month. It was awesome. Dang. It was Toucan Gaming and Genosaurus Rex.
Very nice. I know Toucan. I don't know the other one.
Yeah, Toucan's on Facebook now. He went to Facebook.
I saw
Gaming,
that. Yep, I saw.
But yeah, in even the Mixer partners outside of that I met, like BU, who was on our women's panel last week. She's always been super nice and super helpful, and even huge streamers like Gothalion have been super helpful. And in the 2 or 3 times that I've interacted with him, he's been super helpful, and I mean, he's always been known for that. But you know, it's just Mixer was a cool platform, and I felt like everybody was willing to help everybody there, and
Right.
And it, you know, like you said, I was kind of surprised to see how many people made the jump from Mixer to Twitch when we kind of announced that, you know, we were all moving to Twitch individually and through our podcast, and everybody seemed to make the jump, and it was pretty cool to see. So I mean, obviously not everybody's going to make that jump, but
Right.
the majority of them did, and it was really
Definitely a majority. Yeah, definitely a majority.
yeah. You know, the fact that I think Nerd Journalist and got his affiliate thing after like a couple weeks. I got mine like the other day, and a friend of ours, Insipid Ghost, got his after like 2 or 3 weeks instead of the full 30 days. It was just amazing to see all these communities kind of move over.
It's been really cool. It's like everybody I used to watch on Mixer, like they're all announcing, "Hey, I got my sub button," you know, like, "Hey, I got affiliate."
Yeah.
It's like every day you see more and more people that you knew and interacting with and stuff, and to see them like hit those goals, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Mixer communities is just coming right over to Twitch and bringing that same energy, and it's really cool.
Yeah. It also, I guess, like a lot of the Mixer community is like, if you are a former Mixer streamer, put a Mixer like some sort of Mixer tag in your bio or in your, you know, down underneath where you can like send links out to, and like they seem to really flock to that too. So it's been fun. It's been cool to see, but I am sad that Mixer's gone, because we all kind of called it home for probably the better part of 2 years. So
I was like thinking about what to do for the 1 year, you know, stream anniversary on there, and then, you know, I don't get to anymore.
Yeah. We're actually planning a Mixer, like a goodbye Mixer panel.
There you go.
We were going to do it the week that it was closing, that it was ending, but I mean, I'm going to be on vacation that week, and
that's right.
Scary. I don't even want to think about it. So we're probably going to do it either a week or two after. So you're welcome to be a part of that too, if you want to.
Whoa.
If you're
I've been down.
let me check my schedule.
Yeah, right. I gotta check first.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's been an interesting couple weeks with that, but we're gonna get back to you here. So Destiny is a big part of both of our lives. What was your start with Destiny? Are you an OG? Did you play the beta?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how I found the concept art of Destiny. I think it was either Reddit, or I'm pretty sure it was Reddit, and it had to have been in 2013 or 2000, like really like late 2012. But I saw this concept art, and I saw this idea that Bungie was bringing. I was like, there's this idea that there's the Traveler, and it's protecting the last city, you know, on Earth, and you have all these factions. And I remember very specifically the concept art of the Fallen and the Fallen Walker, and I was like, man, this game looks amazing.
Yeah.
And so I followed the game through as close as I could, and then eventually, you know, doing the beta, which was, I thought, amazing. And then fun fact about Destiny, I've actually been waiting to tell the story with you. So it came out in 2014, I believe in September. So around that time, I had graduated high school in 2013. So I had done a few quarters of college. Up until then, I was paying for it myself. I was working my retail job, putting all my money to school. Then they're like, hey, the Xbox One is coming out and you can get Destiny with it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, listen, I can either keep going to school, I can use my money I've saved up to keep going to school and whatever, being responsible, or I can take what I have now And when the Xbox One comes out and Destiny comes out with it, I could just get that instead. And I didn't tell anybody about it. And then I just did it. I went to my Target I worked at, used my freaking employee discount, bada bing, bada boom. So I literally bought an Xbox to play Destiny over continuing my education. So Destiny has a very big part of my life. So I've been playing ever since. Logged, I think, a couple thousand hours across both games, which is really crazy when you really think about it. But I mean, it's been out since 2014. It's been out for 60 years. It's a long time.
I can't believe that game's been out for this long.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I still remember running through the Cosmodrome for the first time and just being like, man, this is so cool. And going to the moon for the first time. I still miss Dinklebot. I really liked Dinklebot. I preferred that one, honestly. But just so many good times, so many good memories with Destiny. It's the fire teams you made through Destiny and the clans you made really became just really, really good friends. I had a really close knit clan in Destiny 1 that after Destiny 1 kind of stopped and D2 kind of came in, they kind of dissolved just as things do. And then kind of found my place to another clan with a really good friend of mine. He kind of was like, hey, we have a clan, just come in with us, and I was like, all right, cool. So I did that. But it just never really felt the same. So with D2, don't raid as much, don't do any of that sort of stuff. But everything else I pretty much do. But I did take a break from Destiny 2 the last 2 seasons, I think. It kind of felt a little stale. But then with their announcement of Beyond Light and the current season and everything, I think Destiny's in a good spot, and I think it's going to get better. I know sunsetting is a sore subject right now, but I honestly could care less. I'll still play regardless. So,
I mean, it's all about finding the new weapons, right? I mean, that's
right. And I absolutely understand the reasoning. Yeah, but you're never going to please the entire crowd. The Destiny community is definitely split between the PvE players and the PvP players. And you hear them cry all the time, oh, there should be 2 separate games, or they should balance based on PvE and PvP. And it's so you can never please both sides. But then you got me, who just loves all of Destiny and just has a blast. I think it's just the gunplay is some of the best gunplay I've played within a game. The lore is absolutely incredible. It's just a good game.
Yeah,
it's just fun. It's just good.
Yeah, I mean, even Destiny at its worst is still a pretty good game. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Still,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like you, I've taken a lot of time off of Destiny the last couple seasons just because there's just a lot going on, and there was a couple other games that I was really into at the time, and you know what I mean. Destiny is just that game of ups and downs, and you just kind of. You get into it when an expansion comes out. Maybe you'll take some time off and come back. It's always a fall spring game for me where I'll be yeah, I'm
sure.
really into it for, a month or two. And then I'll take some time off when the newer games come out in November. And then, but yeah, man, I was part of a pretty big clan, I would say, for Destiny 1, the entirety of Destiny 1. I played the beta, played through the vanilla campaign, and then to be honest with you, I was kind of not really feeling the original light system at all, where I'd be grinding, and people were like, you need these boots, you need these you need these boots to do this, and this, and I would finally get a good pair of boots, but they weren't high enough level, and it would drop my my light level down. And I was like, man, I don't want to deal with this. So I kind of stopped, and then I played through the Dark Below campaign, and then I really got back into it with House of Wolves because my friend's like, look, I understand that this game is frustrating, but we have a clan. You can play with us. We'll walk you through it. And my first major thing, in 1 week we did the Skolas fight and Vault of Glass and Crota all in the same week, and I was like,
heck yes,
man, I can't believe I just did all this in 1 week. And then that's when we actually started our first Destiny podcast. It was called DNA Weekly Strike. of course, from D1 fans
Yep.
remember the weekly the weekly strike was like it was like that mid-tier strike between a normal strike and a nightfall.
Yep.
And that's from there. I've just been playing ever since. Everything. I've bought it on every single platform it's been available on, because I had friends on Xbox that wanted to play, and then I had friends on PlayStation that wanted to play, and until recently, that was a very hard balancing act to do. So, it's Destiny's just been a big part of my life, and it's been a consistent comfort food game too. When I can't, if I'm not playing something like really hardcore, like I'll just be like, I'll just play some Destiny, get in there, do some strikes, play some PvP, maybe try to solo Nightfall because my friends aren't online.
There you go. There you go.
Which is actually relatively easy to do now if you do the lower end one,
right?
But But yeah, Destiny is such a fun, amazing, and I've met so many cool people through Destiny. Just
oh yes, absolutely.
And I'm not just talking recently. I'm talking like since it came out. I've met so many cool people, and it's just really, really a fun game. So but so okay, so your Twitter profile says you are a Destiny content creator. What kind of content are you, like, would you like to, like, in a perfect world where you had all the time in the world to do Destiny content and everything, what would be like your dream content to do? Are you like a dado guy where you kind of like break down weapons and kind of show them off or show off the raids? Or are you like a Bife guy? You want to like do 4-hour lore videos, which I have watched multiple times.
Heck yeah. I've seen a few of those. They're great. But as you were saying that, I was gonna say, if in a perfect world, I would do exactly what Dado's doing.
Yeah, you kind of have that personality of, I feel like, that you would like break down stuff and do what Dado's doing for sure.
I would, if I had time. Oh my gosh, I would love to. I would love to be able to get into like doing guides for like exotic quests and like new like just new content and stuff, and give opinions on new exotic weapons and armor and stuff like that. But with kids and jobs and stuff, you just, by the time I could get something done, it's already been done by so many people. And not to say it would never do anything, and I'd still like to get there someday. It's just a little tough to balance everything.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you understand.
Yeah. Look, I'm just lucky that my wife and my kid go to bed at the same time. And then,
right?
And then I'll spend like 3.5-4 hours trying to do something, whether it's like trying to stream something or edit 500 videos at the same time, or just trying to get something done. So I definitely, man, in a perfect world, there would be 14-hour days of content creating, not,
right, exactly,
not a 9-hour day job and then come home and, be with the wife and kids. Not that that's not a perfect life, you know what I mean? It's just
I understand.
Somebody in the chat's gonna yell at me, but anyways, it's content creating is hard, and if that's why we kind of focus on podcasts and streaming, because who really has the time to do all that footage capture and edit and writing scripts and breaking down stuff that, like you said, 5,000 other people have already done and had the time to do before you get a chance to do it. So, but we are here because you are going to be the third chair on Tower Casuals. I'm very excited to have you on that show. I like your personality. I like your vibe. I think you bring a lot to the table that way. And obviously Josh is the lore guy and I'm the idiot who hosts it. So, as this show grows and as we kind of move forward with it and changes are happening with it, just kind of still trying to feel it out. It's a new show for us. And what do you hope to do with this show? What do you want to what do you want your role to be on this show exactly?
So I think I'm gonna try to pull the long con, pull a Beyonce. I'm gonna try to eventually make my way to the top and then separate and cash out.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I just want you to know now.
I mean, if I was Beyonce, I'm just saying.
No, but what I would hope to accomplish is, I don't know, just continue to, talk about the game Destiny that I love so much with you guys, with you and Josh, and with the listeners, and just talk about why I love it, and share my passions with everybody. But then I'd also like to be able to. You said like Josh is the lore guy. You're obviously the charm.
It's me.
I was thinking like if I can kind of be like in the middle of that, and maybe provide some like if I can be more of maybe like a breakdown of like new exotics, new weapons, new armors, stuff like that, new strikes, new dungeons, new raids.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I like to feel like what I'm doing is useful or could be impactful to somebody else. So, and I like talking, so why not put those together?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, beyond that, I mean, when I was on last week, which was super awesome, I had a lot of fun. All I want to do is just more of that, just continue to build a relationship with you guys, and then eventually be the #1 Destiny podcast around the globe.
That'd be cool. We got some monsters to take down, but I think we can do it.
Yeah, we could do it. We've taken down Crota, Oryx. We could do it.
Yeah, we can do it. Fire Team Chat, Crucible Radio.
Yeah. Now, who are those guys?
Yeah. Look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ghost stories. Come on. I know you haven't recorded an episode in like a year, but
yeah, we're coming for you.
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Like I said, I'm glad we kind of became friends through Destiny, and with you and Nerd Journalist, which he's not getting out of this either. He's gonna get one of these too. And
who's that guy? Oh
yeah, just some guy. He's just
some nerd.
Yeah, nerd. Guy dies a lot.
I always felt like when we first started playing together, I always felt so aggressive, like being like, "Nerd, what are you doing?" I just felt like I was insulting him by calling him nerd, but he's such a good guy, such a good guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. I'm hoping that he'll stop by the show once in a while too. Just I feel like within a short amount of time between like the Mixer stuff and this Destiny stuff, we've kind of built a small Destiny community already of cool
Almost,
kids,
yeah.
And it's I hope it grows. To be honest with you, I think that Destiny is the game that brings people together. And I know there's a lot of other games that do that, but there's something different and special about Destiny that really brings the community together to do cool stuff. And if somebody's like raids and stuff is the big thing too. Like, we're dads, we don't have a lot of time to raid, and so is Nerd Generalist, right? And so we're kind of forming that dad raid group, which is super cool.
There you go.
And it's just kind of like,
right, for real.
I'm just like, thank God there are other people out there like me that just have like a few spare hours and want to try one of the new raids. Because coming from someone, I mean, the drill, like coming from someone who used to raid literally 3 times a week, and sometimes more, depending on what raids were available at that time. Like,
Yep.
We did it, literally raided every Wednesday night with all 3 of our characters to get the gear. And that went on through Leviathan. And, once everybody kind of went their separate ways, people started having kids and getting married and that kind of thing. That group kind of fell apart, and I've missed that. And, up until recently, it's just been me and my friend Mitch, just playing Destiny, like 2 Titans rolling in places, just kind of throwing hammers and
there you go,
giving each other high fives and stuff like that. So, but yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about, do before we kind of wrap the episode?
Is there anything else I would like to say? Can I say everybody love everybody?
Yes. That's a very big message, especially now.
ELE. Jackie Moon said it a long time ago. We should, we just stick to that.
Yeah. So everybody, be kind to one another, be nice, be helpful. Our motto here is be better. It's not just be better at games, but be better people. It's it's not that hard, guys. Especially
except Meg. Meg can pick on you. I'll allow that.
Yeah. Well, apparently she's too busy to be making fun of me this episode. She's stuffing her face with spicy chicken nuggets, apparently. So
okay, that's a good excuse though. That actually sounds pretty good.
I know. I kind of want some now. So yeah. Willow, thank you for taking the time to do this 1v1. Why don't you remind everybody where they can find you?
So as of right now, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Did I say it right? Twitter, Instagram, Twitch at The Spooklight. Except on Twitter and Instagram, it's The Spooklight TV. Now that will change in the near future. I've kind of been known to change my names a few times. But when I originally came over back to Twitch, Will-O-Wisp was taken, so I'm trying to work with some stuff and getting it changed. So August 12th should be the day I can change my name. So we're gonna do some iteration of Will-O-Wisp, and it'll be back to what I'm used to and what I'm like kind of grown accustomed to and stuff like that. So, but as for right now, twitch.tv/The Spooklight, and then Twitter and Instagram is The Spooklight TV.
Cool. Yeah, and also if you guys need to find him, his links will be in the show description on Twitter and on the audio version and on the website. So Willow, you're always welcome on anything we do. Obviously, people will catch you on Tower Casuals, our Destiny podcast.
Heck yeah.
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram and Xbox. You can find me at Corey in HD on Twitch. You can find all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Download our family of shows. We've kind of changed up the schedule a little bit. So, but 1v1 will continue to be on your podcast services on Fridays. So catch a new interview every week where we celebrate the creators and the work they do on the internet. Willow, thank you for joining me. Everybody, remember, play games, be better. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.